Let's talk about what is in my backpack as a vet school student first year. It's not normally this clean. First up, we have a MacBook. So I got this computer when I started undergrad, so it definitely is one of the older models, but it has served me well. So if you are going into college or you're trying to figure out if you should get a new computer in undergrad or wait until vet school, this thing, it's still kicking strong. All I do is make sure that I am cleaning it up every semester, uploading my files to a hard drive, and just making sure that it's happy and updated and everything else. But I got it in 2021, it's now 2024, and I think this thing's gonna last me probably the whole 4 years in vet school. If not, it has definitely served its purpose, but I'm pretty sure it's going to last that long. Also, the difference between getting a Mac and getting an Air, I liked that the Air was lighter and just more like doable. That was my preference, and yeah, I don't really have a personal preference whether to get a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro. That is something that if you want to consult someone in IT that has way more knowledge than me, definitely do that. Next up, we have an iPad. An iPad. So I again got this, I think it was in 2022, around the spring semester. I got it when I was going into organic, and that is something that if you are in undergrad and you haven't taken organic and you're preparing and you're just watching this video for fun for vet school, get an iPad, because like drawing the things over and over again, yes, you can use paper and it's totally fine, but the amount of paper that I would have gone through if I used a paper and not used my iPad for organic too, I don't even want to know how many trees I killed. Like, it was so worth it. I ended up getting a MacBook Pro refurbished from Apple. Totally worth it. Everything's fine. They replaced everything. I'm not sure why it was refurbished. I think the year that I did end up getting was just like the year prior, so someone probably just returned it because they wanted the newer version. I didn't care if it was refurbished or not. It has worked so unbelievably well. And totally worth it in vet school because I put my notes on here, I take my notes, and then I can also use my computer as another screen. They talk to each other, which is super nice. I really appreciate that. They have good communication between my phone, my computer, and even my TV that has AirPlay. I did choose a Pro, but that was because I think that was like the year before all the different Airs and just regular iPads came out. I don't have the best knowledge on, again, which one is the best one to get. I can just say that the Pro, for what I have and for having the gigabytes, was totally worth it. And that brings me to the other thing. Try to get an iPad that is 128 gigabytes or larger. It's not that you're going to store all of your notes on here forever. You're probably going to upload it to make your device happier. But it's more of like downloading it and then having that much. Like, I have so many files because I was in 10 classes this semester that like that's 10 classes of, let's just say 10 units of files that are on here, and they're PowerPoints, there's pictures. I've taken pictures, put it onto the documents. Like, it needs a lot of room. And so just make sure that you have 128 gigabytes or higher, and then something to upload your device to, whether that is to your computer and then to a hard drive, but then also to keep your files easily accessible so then you can access them the second semester, because second semester is cumulative with first semester material. Another thing that I really like about my iPad that I didn't have in undergrad, and I noticed that like towards the last semester I was starting to want to type the notes, that like if the professor was talking too fast, and I figured that in vet school I was probably going to have to, but I didn't want to do it on my computer because my computer wasn't touchscreen and I knew I wanted to draw or write certain times, is I got a keyboard. It's a touch case. I think it was like, if you look up touch case, it is on Amazon, but for my iPad specifically, I think they were like not selling it anymore, and I don't know if they're going out of business or what it is, but any case that is reliable, touchscreen, and just not touchscreen, typeable, and Bluetooth, it'll do the job. Mine also has a mouse pad, which comes in handy, but then it gets slightly annoying. Also, this is a personal preference, but one of my things that when I was looking for an iPad is I didn't want the Apple Pencil that plugged in, because knowing me, I was not going to remember to plug it in at night, recharge it. I didn't want to deal with that. Or like if I was using my iPad, have my pencil die or even lose it, like having it here, it's so nice and convenient. It charges, it's never dead, it's just nice. And also this, like, it stays charged, because sometimes I put it in this little holder, like in lab, because I don't trust it from not falling off and stuff. It's been like that for I think 2 days, and it still had like 60 to 70% charge, which is plenty, because then when I'm using it, it goes back on there. So highly recommend iPad and MacBook Air. Next up is a stethoscope. So in undergrad, we didn't need them, but it was like, you needed them. And so I actually had my stethoscope from undergrad. It is a Littmann. It's like a Littmann SE. It's simple. It was like the $50 or $60 one off Amazon. It works fine. I would like to invest in a nicer one before I get to clinics. Definitely going to look into it, because I want to be able to hear murmurs better and just get better. So I have my stethoscope. I have the holder. Highly recommend, especially when you're storing it in your backpack and going in between classes and labs. And then notebook for writing notes in. Bandage scissors, because you can never have too many bandage scissors. And that one needs its thing on top. And a light pen, which I need to put batteries in mine. And then a thermometer. You're going to need a thermometer. I think what they recommended for us was like Vicks or something. I again am going to be investing in this stuff as we are starting physical diagnosis next semester. And so I want to get a quicker thermometer, because mine's just a random Dollar General one. Yes, those work. Nothing to worry about if you have them. Don't worry about spending money if you don't need to. Everything works. These are simple. Again, this is the basic of basic. And yeah. The next thing I have are my essentials in my pickle bag. So I have perfume in my pickle bag, spray deodorant, and hand sanitizer. So hand sanitizer, it's self-explanatory. Perfume, because there's something about like being in class all day and then going into lab, and then you just need to get rejuvenated and just smell nice. Perfume. This is like, I put Bath and Body Works spray in this fancy thing. It's nothing special. It's a nice refresher. The other thing is my pickle bag. So this is something that I always have with me, and it comes in handy for other people and for myself. I have like Tylenol and ibuprofen and little pill things, pads. I can't explain how many times that having pads for friends has come in such handy. That and tampons, like, it's so necessary sometimes that, like, sometimes you're just the thing that is needed in the moment. And then like little Benadryls. This is the pickle bag, because when you're in a pickle, you have your pickle bag. So yeah, highly recommend trying to set up your pickle bag. And if you want some suggestions on what to put in your pickle bag or anything else, just comment down below and I'll be glad to send out a list. And yeah, love the pickle bag. I've always had it in my truck and with me everywhere. Cats going all over the place. The other thing is spray deodorant, because when you're wearing fancy clothes, it's just easier to spray and it doesn't really get in everywhere, like marks or anything. So spray deodorant, it's small enough to go in your backpack and it's awesome. Next thing up is earplugs. So I noticed that when I came into school, for some reason, I was listening a lot more to the people around me as they were leaving during tests or anything else. So having earplugs, it makes me focus more and not paying attention to hearing people cough, sneeze, or anything. So I highly recommend, if you haven't tried earplugs, I was a little hesitant at first, and make sure that they're cleared at your school. If you're uncertain and just want to make sure, I just went up to a professor and was like, hey, I have these earplugs. They're nothing special whatsoever. I squished them and everything else, and they help me focus and stuff. And they either will look at them or they just don't care and stuff like that. So earplugs have really saved my grades. I can tell you that one test I didn't use earplugs. And there was a difference because there was just a lot of racket and it was just not an enjoyable test, and it showed. So next up is AirPods. I have the AirPods Pro, and they're, to be honest, I haven't really used them a lot this semester because I ended up getting the Sony headphones. I'm not sure which one they are because they were actually gifted to me, but the Sony headphones and AirPod Pros, highly recommend. And when I say Sony headphones, they're like the ones that go over, they have noise canceling. They're so nice. They're nice because when I was using AirPods, I noticed that these were starting to hurt my ears in a way after long amounts of studying. It just wasn't enjoyable. And I got the Sony ones, and I noticed that I could even have them off, and they were still noise canceling. They were so nice. They formed to your ears. It's just really nice to have in vet school if you want to go to a coffee shop and study and not be too loud. You got some headphones, or you have the AirPods, and maybe you're in class and everyone's talking and you're wanting to study in the 10 minutes, you throw some headphones on. So worth it. Please invest in some headphones or the AirPod Pros. And also, AirPod Pros, so nice for working out, and working out is so important in vet school. I forgot to add that I have a mini brush, and honestly, this thing has come in handy. I got it from Dollar General. It says Team Bride on it. It was a mini brush. It's so perfect. It's so nice. I even take this like in my purse and stuff when I travel. Like, just having a mini airbrush, you never know when you need it. The other thing I have is a battery charger. Now, this thing is very large, but it charges my computer and my iPad and I think my phone all in like one thing. Like, it has enough charge that it can do that. It does take a bit to charge, so I actually plug it in at night. This is an Anker brand. It is more on the expensive side, but it's one of those things that maybe you're not sitting near an outlet, or you're wanting to go study at a picnic table or a coffee shop, and again, there's no outlet. Having this has come in handy for those moments and been totally worth it. Again, I was gifted this to me, but it's been amazing. It's one of those things that, because I'm just so cheap and don't want to go out and buy things, I wouldn't have gone out, but it's one of those things that I would have like looked at and been like, this is really nice to have. Last but not least is notebooks. I have my lab notebook, like lab manual. I have sticky notes and a pen for writing any extra notes that I need to jot down. I carry around the regular notebook just because sometimes you need to write on paper. You never know when it's going to happen. And also in histology, I've been like, this semester I didn't do it as much, but next semester I will be doing histology notes most likely on paper. I might change that, but it helps prepare me for tests better, and I think will get me to focus more if I rewrite all my notes, which is a grand feat in vet school, but I'm going to try to rewrite my notes on paper for at least histology, which is also known as microanatomy at other vet schools. So yeah, these were the last things that are in my backpack, and I also carry around a umbrella, but I didn't have that in here today because it is the end of the semester and it really hasn't been raining. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on anything else. Oh, I forgot. Water bottle. Always have a water bottle. It doesn't matter which one. I do like ones that you can close off, which would be the Hydro Flask, or just like any regular water bottle that you can close off, because you can throw it in your backpack. Don't have to worry about it. For classes though, I like this because we're just sitting in class. It's easy. It keeps things cold. Yeah. But that's all I have for today's video on what's in my backpack. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please comment down below or check out my Instagram at Becoming Dr. Heidi, and I'd love to talk with you. Have a great day.